My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. In 2015 and 2016, my articles in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, and other publications went viral. I was 100% accurate. This is one, and thank God Trump won. But at that moment in time, Bernie Sanders would have won. I was right. Nate Silver, all the pundits, all the wonderful journalists, all the people who wrote hit pieces on me, they were all wrong. I was accused of writing clickbait articles. Now everyone is pretty much writing exactly what I was saying. They're about 3 years too late. Why Sanders defeats Trump, but Trump defeats Clinton. This is in 2015, October 22nd. I was a contributor to The Hill. Why Sanders defeats Trump, but Trump defeats Clinton. Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin haven't voted for a Republican in a presidential election since the 80s. They voted twice for Bill Clinton. They voted twice for President Obama. They voted for President Trump. President Trump, and I wear this with happiness and pride. President Trump is bringing home Americans from never-ending conflict. The same conflicts that were voted for by Hillary Clinton were pushed and advocated by Clinton and Max Boot and Democrats who run the Democratic Party. Do you think Bernie Sanders, who got cheated in 2016, runs the Democratic Party? I learned this the hard way. And I also sadly learned that Bernie Sanders is a political creature and a political animal and will do anything to just funnel votes back into the Democratic Party. That's a whole other story. But why Sanders defeats Trump, but Trump defeats Clinton? 2015, October 22nd. That was the pulse of what was going on. And I was 100% right. And every day on Reddit, every single day on Democratic Underground, all these, oh my God, H.A. Goodman, these hilarious, the hit pieces written on me in the Daily Beast. Oh my God, what's he? Oh, he doesn't know anything about politics. I was right. All my articles went viral. And then you have these imbeciles saying that it was clickbait. Everyone is saying hashtag Bernie would have won. Now they're all, it's like nauseating. Yeah, Bernie on 2020. What makes you think after 2 years of saying that it was a Russian plot to inform the country by hacking the DNC that Bernie Sanders was cheated, that he won't be cheated again, and that he will, what makes you think that the same system that wouldn't allow Bernie Sanders to win, and the same system that said it was a Russian organized, criminal endeavor to hack the DNC, which never happened. CrowdStrike is the only company to look at DNC servers entity. When's the last time a government relied on a third-party corporation hired by a political party as evidence to base foreign policy decisions upon? CrowdStrike is the only CrowdStrike looked at DNC servers, did the analysis, and gave photos and images to the U.S. government of DNC servers. Why would you trust a company that was outsourced by Democrats and Hillary Clinton to say that Russia hacked the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated? Do you see where I'm going with this? You're about 3 years too late, people. So back then, everyone was saying, my God, what are you doing? You're on the wrong side of things. You don't know what you're talking about. Bernie Sanders has no chance. Oh my God. Now, people are saying, oh, Trump. No, Trump 2020. I want to bring home Americans from never-ending conflict. He's doing that. I want peace between North and South Korea. That's taking place. Prison reform. Oh, yes, he signed that. Great economy. Record low Black and Latino unemployment. But it started under Obama. Obama had a GDP of 1.5 or 1.6% in 2016. The economy was on a downswing. Trump presides over the economy. Suddenly we have a 3% GDP growth. We had more jobs than people to fill those jobs. Wages are increasing. Just Google. It takes 2 seconds to research. The economy is great. A lot better than it was under Obama. Manufacturing jobs, hundreds of thousands, whereas 300,000 were lost. By whatever estimate you want to use, at least 300,000 manufacturing jobs were created under Trump. This is exactly why I liked Bernie Sanders. And I can't wait for people to say, H.G. Goodman was wearing a Trump 2020 or Trump Make America Great Again shirt. This is how Bernie bros, this is where Bernie bros end up. Because there was a lot, and you please quote me on this. Trump of 2020 is a lot closer to Bernie of 2016 than anything the left is spewing now. Anything. Both Trump and Bernie Sanders opposed the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Both Trump and Bernie Sanders wanted to bring home Americans from conflict, wanted to change U.S. foreign policy to a less interventionist foreign policy. Hillary Clinton and President Obama and Joe Biden intervened in Libya with a NATO intervention that was not only a complete failure, it turned Libya into a failed state, and it destroyed a nation. So the biggest mistake from Obama was destroying the country. Everyone shrugged shoulders. But it's the tiki torch, oh my God, Trump. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton referred to black youth as super predators. What else did she say? Who must be brought to heel? All of these horrific things Clinton said, but she's not a supremacist. Give me a break. You're a hypocrite. Nobody takes you seriously if you're the type of person who says Trump is a racist, he's a sexist, he's a misogynist. What about Keith Ellison? His accuser has medical records. Oh, you don't want to talk about that, huh? I wonder why. What about, well, we can go on forever. Hillary Clinton referred to Mahatma Gandhi as a gas station attendant. Hillary Clinton, it's disgusting. What a horrific thing to say. Just the other day, Hillary Clinton said, oh yeah, all black people look alike. And the crowd was mortified. And the person there who was the interviewer, she was like, oh, Hillary. Nobody said anything. You think anyone called her an enabler, tiki torch person? No. No, because it's Clinton. She gets away with everything. Because Democrats don't stand upon value system. No, now you care about Medicare for all? Okay, fine. Doubling to tripling tax rates, that's what the Mercatus study said. Double or triple tax collection. How are you going to do that without doubling or tripling tax rates? And then the Urban Institute had a similar study. And Bernie's 2017 bill is what? They're finding out if it's even feasible economically. Nobody is pushing it. They pushed a resolution, not even legislation, a resolution on a Green New Deal that would have relied on the mining of cobalt. Most of the world's cobalt is in Africa, in the Congo. And I explain, Democrats, it's like with Libya and now now the Congo, I explain that you can't, in my Federalist article, it's below, you cannot have or manufacture an electric car battery without mining cobalt, lithium, nickel, and these metals are linked to devastation, to communities being decimated, to 35,000 children in the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, working in mines. Some of these mines are radioactive. And then you have environmental pollution, water, the smoke and the dust in the air, but not just that. You have young people, you have families in the Congo breathing in the most carcinogens, zero health standards in these mines in the Congo, and communities are suffering. And indigenous people are suffering, mining cobalt. And then you have the political chaos from mining cobalt in the Congo. And then you have lithium and the water issues associated with that in Bolivia and Chile and Argentina. And I explained that in my Federalist article, how the Green New Deal would exploit poverty-stricken people across the globe. Toxicity assaults. This is a Guardian, as I quote the Guardian, toxicity assaults at every turn. Earth and water are contaminated with industrial runoff, and the air is brown with noxious haze. Okay? That's a quote from the Guardian, from a journalist who documented the horrors at 31 artisanal mines, at least 35,000 of whom are children, 255,000 miners and one cobalt people mining cobalt in the Congo, 35,000 of whom are children. And then I talk about the dangers of cobalt, nickel, and lithium. Indigenous peoples are left poor as tech. This is I quote from the Washington Post. Indigenous people are left poor as the tech world takes lithium from under their feet. Oh, tell us how you love indigenous people. Look, Bernie Sanders' movement has turned into a giant bowel movement. What they should really do is just run Jesse Smollett and AOC and just call it a day. And just, instead of the slow motion dumpster fire, just say AOC Jesse Smollett 2020 and just, that's it. Call it a day, and, hopefully Tulsi Gabbard in 2024 could save the Democratic Party. But actually, what do I care about the Democratic Party? I hate the Democrats. Not really. I don't hate anyone. But the Democratic Party is a danger to the country and the world. What political party would usher in a new Cold War because it lost a political election? What political party would fabricate would implicate an incoming candidate who won, or an incoming president would fabricate the most absurd and ridiculous fantasy that he worked with Vladimir Putin to hack the DNC and spread Facebook ads, all to hurt Hillary Clinton. To hack the DNC to inform the United States of America that Bernie Sanders was cheated by Democrats. How stupid, how ludicrous is that? But people believed it for 2 years. And now finally people are opening, they're kind of understanding, they're opening their eyes that, oh my God, well, it's been nothing. Even people who don't like Trump are like, yeah, there was nothing there. It was, and now we're finding out there was a bureaucratic coup. Now we're finding out that Democrats knew that either were such sore losers, or they just some of them knew Clinton couldn't win. Who knows? Maybe they thought, just like the insurance policy from Peter Strzok, they knew she was going to win. They knew she was. And I was saying in 2015, like you can see in the description section, I knew she was going to lose. But you have an insurance policy from Peter Strzok and McCabe and Comey and Brennan and Clapper and Clinton and Obama, because Clinton transferred top secret intelligence outside of the United States government onto servers that theoretically the NSA had no access to. Do you believe that for a second? I explain in Butter Top Secret Emails, my books, below on Amazon, that people are still buying. They're still doing well. She illegally transferred this intelligence outside of the United States government. She had classified intelligence even on former Congressman Anthony Weiner's laptop. She had more classified intelligence outside of the United States government than she did inside the United States government. Actually, she didn't use a state.gov server. State.gov email. That's why we should always talk. It's not but her emails, it's but her top secret emails, my book on Amazon. That's been read by people in Congress. Anyway. Now, democratic socialism. Oh, yeah. Well, Ezra Klein in 2015, I believe, either 15 or 16, the first thing he said, he goes to Bernie in one of his, and it was meant specifically to sabotage Bernie. The first question he asked was, "You're a socialist, huh?" And Bernie quickly said, well, democratic socialist. Okay. The initial question, and it's on YouTube, the initial question was asked in a way to make Bernie Sanders at that moment in time completely unrealistic and unpragmatic. And Bernie Sanders still hasn't explained what the heck, like, he hasn't explained to the American people what a democratic socialist is. Doesn't matter. He wanted to break up too big to fail banks, by the way. That actually, even Alan Greenspan was talking about that. The point is, Bernie Sanders, whatever he was in 2016, is a lot closer to what Trump is today. A lot closer. And that is a good thing. All of this, he's dog whistling, Trump is speaking. No, read my article in my op-ed in the Jerusalem Post. He doesn't speak subliminally to anyone, you insane fools. No one listens to Trump and says, must commit fake hate crimes. Jesse Smollett. So, no one says that. Brainwashed. Zombies on the left. The only actual dog whistle and racist ad was the 3 a.m. ad that Hillary Clinton used that made President Obama look like someone burglarizing a house in the middle of the night. Type in 3 a.m. ad, Hillary Clinton. Even the New York Times, a Harvard sociologist, said that this was an example of racism. We can go on forever. Bill Clinton flew back to Arkansas in the early 90s to witness the execution of a black man, to show people that he was, quote unquote, tough on crime. This is all in the history of the Clintons. That Democrats don't care about the euphemism. Suddenly they care about, oh my God, did you see the Covington? Oh, what about, what did Elizabeth Warren do? Did she speak out as people were getting brutalized in Standing Rock? Native Americans were being brutalized under Obama's watch? What happened to the euphemisms like white supremacy then? They're utilized only for political utility. You'll never hear these euphemisms again the second a Democrat gets into the White House. Then, heaven forbid, whatever takes place is not a euphemism. It's just, gosh, that's just, America. These people on the left have been played, and they're played constantly. The whole thing was, vote for AOC, vote for all these people, you get Medicare for all. Where's the Medicare for all bill? Where's the Green New Deal legislation? The resolution is not legislation, sorry. You haven't won anything there. And I explained in The Federalist how it would decimate communities in the Congo and in China and in Latin America and around the world. They put indigenous people, 20 times, 6 times total within the resolution. And indigenous people would suffer around the world from the Green New Deal. Because we don't have the technology, and yes, I guess AOC is right, we have to develop technology, but that should be the emphasis. Before saying, in 10 years we got to do this, even though we can't. Whatever. You're about 3 years too late. People who, God bless you, if you believe, trust me, if you believe that Bernie can win, God bless you. I don't want to stand in your way at all. Not that I would. But Trump is a better president than Bernie ever would have been, because Bernie Sanders doesn't have the courage, and he doesn't have the fortitude, and he doesn't have the strength to go up against a very insidious, corrupt, evil political party called the Democratic Party. He just doesn't have it in him. Look, Jill Stein, if you've made it this long, Jill Stein invited Bernie Sanders to run with her. He should have done that. Now, I'm a Second Amendment advocate now. A lot of things that check out my Second Amendment channel. It's awesome. Fully automatic. Check out the segments. They're awesome. M60, M249. All these great segments. But thank God things worked out the way they did, because I'm a better person. I'm a much better person having left the Democratic Party and now supporting President Trump. If you hear that, you probably like, oh my God, He's the biggest racist, sexist, misogynist. Keith Ellison. Hillary Clinton. I mean, Keith Ellison's accuser has medical records. Kavanaugh's accuser didn't even know, like, the location, the time. There were no witnesses, nothing. This woman has medical records, and Keith Ellison gets away with everything because the media doesn't care. Like I said, there's no value system. Then you have people who pontificate. Look, Kyle Kalinski's a wonderful, amazing voice. Yeah, he's great. He said, vote for Hillary Clinton. If you're in a swing state, vote for Clinton, but I'm going to vote for Jill Stein. So in typical, Young Turks fashion, I said, vote for Hillary Clinton in swing states. Okay, you're not fighting the oligarchy or the system doing that. Okay, the Young Turks, I wrote in the Huffington Post, the Young Turks helped elect President Trump. This mentality that you rally around Bernie, but only until he gets cheated, and then, well, you just got when the hits the fan, you got to go with Clinton or Kamala Harris or Biden. That's not how the Democratic Party respects opponents. They crush and destroy and smash any opponent, and the only people they respect are people like Jill Stein and Trump, who don't really care about, falling in line. On one end, you have Jill Stein. On the other hand, you have Trump. Two opposites in many ways. Not in every way, actually, but in many ways. And had Bernie simply said, nah, I'm taking my voters, I'm taking my value system, and you can just shove your cheating where the sun don't shine. I'm not going to support you. I don't care what I said. Go ahead and sue me. I don't care. How are you going to... There are pundits who are saying that, and Bernie and others, and say, people are dying without Medicare for all. It's February 19th. Any Medicare for all bill that is going to pass the House, you control the House, Democrats. You pushing a bill because people are dying. Allegedly. You're doing the same thing that Republicans did when they tried to oppose the ACA, but in reverse. This is a calamity! It's a calamity! It's a calamity! Where's the Medicare for All bill? And and we endorsed the Senate bill in 2017. Really? Well, why don't you pass it? Try to pass it through the House. You can't pass it through the House. You can't pass a version of that through the House and then get a Senate vote on it. How does that... What? You want Medicare for All? You've been spending 2 years... Medicare for all will save people. Well, then why? It's February now, and the only thing Democrats have is a hilarious resolution that has been eviscerated by everyone on the planet. There's not even legislation. Not even going to vote on this, and they don't even want to vote on it. Mitch McConnell is trolling Democrats, saying, "Let's vote on it." They're the biggest hypocrites. The only thing they have is Twitter. Still, people talk about me on Twitter, and they use my name to insult others. Look. Bernie, if Bernie becomes nominee, he's not going to, but let's say he does, it won't be the Bernie Sanders of 2016. It will be the Bernie Sanders approved by Hillary Clinton, the Democratic Party. And all the reasons you loved him in 2016 aren't going to be there. Medicare for all, they're not even serious about because there's no Medicare for all bill that they're pushing through the House. When will people realize that Bernie Sanders exists, the Young Turks, a lot of pundits, I love Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore, I love. I have 100% respect for him. He's genuine and real. Other people, they'll, say, fight the power structure, and then in the end, just funnel votes towards Hillary Clinton, one way or another. Trump is not a racist. He's not sexist. He didn't work with Russia. And if you want to say that he's a racist, the reasoning behind that applies infinitely more to Hillary Clinton, which makes you automatically a hypocrite. because you voted for Clinton or you don't think Clinton's that bad. You think if people think Trump is racist and monster, but they don't think Clinton is more of all of those horrible things, then they don't know much about politics. Or their value system only relies in the acquisition of power, and that's it. Bernie Sanders is a political creature. He's not willing to sacrifice his political career for a value system. Trump is like completely dismantling the media. The media, the intelligence chiefs that are corrupt. And I love how like even progressives like Beto O'Rourke. My new name is Rico Suave. Talk about a identity politics gone wrong. Beto O'Rourke was like, yeah, I think he worked with Russia and Putin, and then Bernie was, keeps pumping that dumb myth also constantly, which says that he was also part of the Russian plot, in addition to Jill Stein. He knows that's not true, but he's still. And this is where the whole, preaching and motivating. You're talking to a guy or you're listening to a guy who cried. I was like tears of joy or tears of like, it was like so not joy, but like it was so poignant and emotional when when a little bird flew on Bernie's, flew on the stage near Bernie. And then I didn't realize that Debbie Wasserman Schultz had a sniper rifle, try to pick off the bird. Now the bird and all the other birds that bird was with have been pooping on the Democratic Party ever since. When you have Vox and 538 and the Washington Post saying, yeah, Bernie is really good. He's no longer a threat. He's no longer a threat, people. That's why they're utilizing him to vote, to get votes, to get some kind of enthusiasm. And his once decent for a moment political movement in 2016 morphed into AOC claiming victory for 107,000 jobs removed from New York, which would have... They're like, well, AOC, Amazon doesn't pay taxes. Yeah, those 107,000 people would have. And they would have had more money for their families. But you know what? You fought the system. Not really. Anyway, hit subscribe right now. Trump 2020. Once again, I'm on the right side of history. I know what's going on. I have the pulse of what's going on. Trump is a far better president than people give him credit for. Peace between North and South Korea is a paradigm-changing thing. He's presiding over that. That alone should be a reason for Bernie Sanders voters to vote for Trump. Bringing home Americans in the same conflicts that Max Boot and Clinton, even Bernie Sanders, want Americans to stay in. It's like ridiculous. He's like, well, I wanted orderly. Could you believe it was a tweet? Bernie Sanders said, oh, well, we should withdraw soldiers in an orderly fashion. There is no orderly way to bring them home to their families, to their children. That's one of the big reasons I loved Bernie Sanders, past tense. Hit subscribe right now. Do you ever wonder why John Brennan and Debbie Wasserman Schultz at one point both didn't like Bernie Sanders? Well, obviously. At one point didn't like Bernie Sanders, but also were working overtime against Trump from day one. Bernie was made into a central figure, central casting. The Russians utilized the DNC hack to let people know that Bernie Sanders was cheated. How absurd is that? And he went along with it. He didn't care if it thrust us into a new Cold War. He didn't care if his voters $200 million stolen. He didn't care because it's politics. He's a political creature, and I didn't realize he was just a creature of politics, Bernie. Trump, on the other hand, the generals were saying, well, keep the Americans there, keep Americans there, and the media, and oh my God, and the 25th Amendment, there's something wrong with him. He wants to bring home Americans. He's like, I don't care. I'm bringing home Americans. I'm presiding over peace between North and South Korea. Before, they were like, oh my God, he's going to bring us to the brink of nuclear catastrophe. Up now, peace. Oh, it's not really anything. Oh my, Paul Krugman, he's going to bring us a global recession. Now we have an amazing economy. Wages are growing faster than at any point, in the past 10 years, faster than any point since 2009. I mean, we can go on forever. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you so very much. Bernie is running. He will lose to Trump because he'll either get cheated or he'll lose to Trump. You can't run a populist message on the left when the left is controlled by Clinton, and they're only utilizing the left-wing populist message to funnel votes back into the establishment candidate. Number one. Number two, you'd have to win Arizona, Florida, and then Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania. That ain't going to happen because there are manufacturing jobs coming back, hundreds of thousands that have already come back because of Trump. Because of his policies. The steel industry is back now. You can't have a populist message when there's manufacturing jobs being more manufacturing jobs than at any point in Obama's tenure. And Democrats gave up on manufacturing jobs. 300,000 were lost during Obama's tenure. And we have, over 400,000 with Trump. By one estimate, over 300,000. Fine. Still great. 300,000 manufacturing jobs added in 2 years. Oh, and by the way, 5.1 million jobs created. That's a fact. In 2 years of Trump, 5.1 million jobs created. 8.9 million in 8 years of Obama. It's very feasible that Trump creates more jobs than Obama did in 8 years. So how are you going to have this populist message? How are you going to have this populist message resonate when you were already cheated? The whole point of Bernie Sanders 2016 was shake up the system, fight the system. How are you going to fight the system? How are you going to fight the system when you're in bed with the system? How are you going to fight the system when you got cheated and then you blamed Russia for cheating you when you knew very well it was the Democratic Party? Are you kidding me? The same people who wanted to go after me in 2015, 2016 are the same people now who say, Bernie's great. Who will be the same people who say, you know what, I guess we got to vote for Kamala Harris or Biden or whatever. The Democratic Party is a giant cult. I got out of it, and thank God I'm no longer on the left, and thank God I'm no longer on Twitter. And by the way, Bernie will never be good enough. The left already thinks he's a racist misogynist, so there you go. They're like, whatever. Hit subscribe right now. Check out my Federalist article. Check out my Second Amendment channel. Thank you very much.